Known for its inventive mechanics, its strong playability, and very nice neck, can the Antigua Winds ProOne measure up against the behemoth of the YAS875EXII Yamaha? Let's find out. Howdy everybody, my name is Andrew King. We are here at Alamo Music. Don't forget to visit us at alamomusic.com where we have both of these instruments available for purchase and so much more for perusing. Today we're going to be talking about some store favorites. We're looking at the Antigua Winds ProOne Alto Saxophone against the YAS875EXII Yamaha Alto Saxophone, the elite model horn that has everyone abuzz. I will say first and foremost that this is a cool comparison, mostly because we're kind of going from a strong professional model to an elite alto saxophone model. So when we have these kind of things and we're trying to compare them and see what the kind of use cases for each one would be, things to remember are stuff, you know, usual stuff. You got your price, certain kind of parts, what kind of metal, bore sizes, all kinds of stuff, ergonomics for sure. And so there's it's kind of fun to like sit down and be like, why would I want to get one instead of the other, right? Well, let's start with, the first and most obvious choice is price for sure. Antigua Winds is an extremely accessible, available instrument with good price points across the board on all of their different lines, and the ProOne is their first strong approach to a professional saxophone. There's a lot of great parts with these, and I want to talk about kind of the mechanics of that, but when we compare that, and we'll get to that in a second, but when we compare that over to the YAS875, the price points are pretty insanely different. The Yamaha is going to be priced right now, 2024 fallish. We're kind of looking at $5,000. I think it's like 49 something, like 49.86, I think. But that Yamaha Alto Saxophone is going to go for what is basically their premier model price. The Yamaha Pro model is a very good instrument with strong playability and is super reliable. Yamaha is going to be one of my favorite brands for sure. Their consistency is amazing. So their price point, as far as being an owner of the market and whatnot, is very fair. When you compare it though to the Antigua Winds ProOne Alto Saxophone, though, the price can be kind of a point of contention. The $3,300 price tag on an alto saxophone like this is fantastic. It plays so well, and it has a lot of cool points to it. The G-sharp lifting mechanism, the rolled out tone holes, the amazing P1 neck from Peter Ponzel, a lot of the instrument is just made to be played. I also really like it just for the fact that it's a really nice heavy instrument. I'm a huge proponent for having heavy saxophones. It helps with focus, it keeps it laid down, and it also means that the instrument's going to last a little longer in the long run for any kind of accidents that might happen. In general, I mean, you can't help it if a bus runs over it, right? But those extreme examples aside, these are instruments that are extremely well made and play good across the board. Intonation's amazing, all that kind of stuff. And when you take those certain points and stack them against the YAS875EX, you start to see kind of what people are actually willing to pay for, right? The idea of a great playing saxophone. How much are you willing to spend on a great playing saxophone? What the YAS875EX boasts is a promise of excellence from Yamaha. So this is a well-known brand. This is an instrument that plays very well across the board. The V1 neck is one of the best necks out there as far as any kind of custom work done on a saxophone. It has a great bore on it and it plays fantastic. You combine that with the extremely good ergonomic choices that are made on the YAS875EX, and you start to see kind of why that premier model exists in the first place. Couple that with, and this is just I think the biggest thing that it has in terms of what goes against like any of these kind of more professional level as opposed to elite, the material composition is much more pure when you get into kind of like how these instruments resonate and whatnot. So this instrument just sounds so good with a proper airflow. You're not going to be able to get that kind of resonance from a lot of other saxophones. Now, that being said, the Antigua Winds ProOne has the P1 neck, which also boasts a incredible bore. I'm able to get a very good, strong, piercing tone with my jazz setup on it, and when you put that against, say, the 875EX, they kind of sound very similar in that fact. I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. So check out the video coming up in a minute. We're going to see kind of how they sound side by side, and you let me know which one you like the most. See you in a second. right, y'all. I'm serious about this one. Please get down in the comments. Let me know which one you like the most. I will say the YAS875EX plays great. The sound that comes out of that horn is singing godlike power. It just plays great. The intonation is awesome and really just blows me away with just how easy it is to get those things done. Now, we put that against the Antigua Winds. It is a strong saxophone. I think that this instrument has a gorgeous sound to it, and because of its heavy weightedness, the P1 neck in particular as well, it just plays great. I mean, the tone, it's not nearly as kind of resonant as the Yamaha, and I hope that translates really well with the microphone that we're using. But when it kind of takes, especially on the higher end, I really think the Yamaha pulls ahead. But on that lower end, it's just the ProOne just has this nice, sullen, dark tone to it, and it kind of gives those colors. Now, I'm using a New York Meyer vintage mouthpiece with a 2.5 blue reed, a blue box reed, and I'm just able to get kind of those a little more, not sophisticated, but darker tone colors that I want from my jazz tone. And so when I'm playing these kind of side by side, it's kind of easy to tell playing it that the Yamaha has a lot more attention to smaller details. The ergonomics are fantastic and everything. The playability is great, but I really do like, and these are things to get used to on both instruments for sure, but I really do like the heavy weightedness of the ProOne. When we're talking about the mechanics of both of these saxophones, I really will say that I enjoy the ProOne a lot more. The ProOne just has a lot of cool things to it that also serve to keeping the sound nice and concentrated, in my opinion. The ProOne has these Triton arms on it that let it go ahead, and it's 3 prongs on each of the lower bell keys, and that lets you kind of tilt and keep them good to go over a long period of time. Then you also have the G-sharp lifting mechanism. That means your G-sharp key never sticks again, which is a fantastic boon for any kind of normal professional playing saxophone player over a long period of time. You combine that with a great neck, and this instrument automatically becomes a really good solid choice for any like professional player wanting to just have a saxophone that's reliable. I think the 875 is fantastic. I think it's one of the best playing saxophones in the world. It's easy to get, it's accessible, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not easy to get. You usually have to wait for it, say if there's not in stock or anything. But it's a fantastic instrument. But practically, on a price level, on a basic like ergonomic level as far as the instrument, or not ergonomic, but on a basic playing level and just use cases over time, the ProOne just makes more sense as a professional player. Now, the 875AX, it's a great choice. And if you can spend that $5 grand, or you can find one that's a good used deal and everything, 100% go for it. But I think that the ProOne in general just has so many things going for it that kind of push it into that little bit of that bubble, and has some other just alternative use cases for saxophone players in general that I just think it's a really good choice for anyone. Let me know what you think. I really would love to hear it. We do have very independent videos for both of these if you would like to go more in depth against each other, or at least just for what their use cases are in general. But today was more about kind of like, why would you, what is the use case scenario of going against getting an elite model, great saxophone, right? Or getting a strong professional model saxophone from kind of more of an off-brand, not big Yamaha Selmer kind of thing. I think it just promotes kind of an interesting conversation about what you're willing to kind of let go, what you want to get back, that kind of stuff when you're making these kind of choices. Either way, I really enjoy talking about it, and I really enjoy spending your time here. Let me know what you think in the comments. I do want to hear it, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.